Hello chess friends! In this lesson today we will talk about endgames 2 pawns versus 1 pawn. All about pawn endgames 1 pawn versus 1 pawn you can see in my previous chess lessons, and information about that you can get in right upper corner. This position here is very simple, of course, and no matter that white is a pawn up, white is not able to win this game. With some normal positions for both of the kings, like in this position, the game is of course easily drawn. White is not able to make any progress. After king d6, king b8, king d7, king a8, there is no any way to force black king to go out of the corner, and the position is drawn either like stalemate, like this, or any other way. This is another example, 2 pawns versus 1 pawn. In this position, with this kind of pawn structure, white will win the game no matter where is white king, no matter where is black king, and also no matter who is on the move. Even here, when we have the best possible position for black king and the worst possible position for white king, white easily wins the game. Let's see why is that. After king g2, if black plays king b6 and if black tries to win this weak white's pawn on d5 square, he will lose the game, because if he plays king c5, nothing stops c-pawn. C-pawn easily promotes and white wins this endgame. If after king g2 black decides to stay around his d6 pawn and plays, for example, king d8, king f3, king e7, king f4, if, for example, king f6 to try to gain a position to white king, then simply c7. So there are several problems for black's king. He must guard his d6 pawn, he must guard white's c-pawn to stop him to promote, and also to try not to allow white's king to approach closer. Simply black's king is overloaded, and that is why white will win the game. If after king f4 black king stays on d8, simply king f5, king e7. And now in this position there are two ways for white to win the game. One way is with c7 move, and white will win this endgame no matter that he is going to lose his c-pawn. The reason for that is the ranks where these pawns are blockaded. We have learned earlier in our previous lessons that if pawns are blockaded on 6th and on the 5th rank, if white is able to win the pawn on the 6th rank, white will win the game easily here, no matter that black might be able to gain a position, like in this example, but white wins the game because the king is on the 6th rank. The second way to win this game was king g6, to try to use activity of white's king, and now very easily white will win black's d6 pawn and easily win this game. In this position, actually in this pawn structure, it is very important where are the kings exactly and who is on the move. In this position, with white to move, the game is drawn. But if it is black on the move, then white is going to win the game. Through this example, we will see both situations. Let's say that white plays first move king e2. Now, black could make big mistake if he plays king e4. The reason for that is that after king d2, black must return to d5, and now after king d3, we have the same position as the starting position, with one small difference. It is now black on the move. And white wins this endgame. Let us see how white wins if black is on the move in this starting position. Well, let's assume that he is going to play king e6. Now it would be wrong to play king d4, because we allow black to gain a position with king d6, king c4, king c6, king d3, and now king d5. Again the starting position, but now it's white on the move, and this is of course drawn. But correct move after king e6 is to obtain so-called diagonal opposition with king c4. And now after king d6, king d4. So diagonal opposition is nothing but the position which allows you to create distant or normal opposition. We have seen now how using diagonal opposition, white transformed that into the normal regular opposition. And after king e6, now we know that stronger side always wants to win more space, to control more space. So after king c5, king f6, king d5, it is now obvious that white will win black's pawn, and white easily wins this endgame. So now we know how to win this endgame if it is black on the move. But with white on the move, after king e2 move, which we have already mentioned, it is not good for black now to play king e4. This is what we have seen, but correct move which draws the game is king e6. And this is distant opposition which black's king is obtaining. And after king d2, again king d6, king c3, king c5, now normal opposition, king d3, king d5, king c3, again it would be very wrong to play king e4, because after king d2, king d5, king d3, again we change the side who is on the move in the starting position, and black loses the game. But of course after king c3, easy king c5. So white is not able to make any progress playing with his king. The last what he can try is to play e4, but after f takes e4, f5, king d6, king d4, e3, king e3, king e5, and we see that endgame is easily drawn. This is the last position for today's lesson, and also the most complicated position. In this pawn structure, with some normal position of the kings, white must play very precisely in order to win the game. For black, it is very important to keep his pawn on the 7th rank as long as possible. Let's see. White will start with king g4, and after king g6, white will play g3 move. Now the options for black are to play king g7, king h6, or to move his pawn to h6. If he plays king h6, let's see how white wins. Well, simply king f5, king g7, and king g5. This position will repeat later, so we are going to skip it now. Let's see what if black in that critical moment plays h6. So after g3 move, he plays h6. Now the pawn is not anymore on the 7th rank, and let's see how will white take advantage of that. King f4, king f6, h3, and now h5 or king g6. If king g6, king e5, king g5, king e6, king g6, and the key move h4, taking away this g5 square, king h5, and now not of course king f5, because that would be a stalemate, but king f7, and after king g4, king g6, king g3, h5, and we see now how white easily wins this game. If after h3 move black plays h5, then h4, and black is now losing opposition, king g6, king e5, white is taking control of more space, approaching closer and easily winning h5 pawn, easy win for white. But if black keeps his pawn on h7 square on the 7th rank and plays king g7 now king g5, and after king f7, king h6, and after king g8, g4, it's very important now to see how will h pawn move later, and after king h8, g5, king g8, And now very important move is to play h3. It is very important for white to calculate where will be black's king at the moment when white pushes later g6 pawn. So the simple rule may say that we need to put the pawn on the same color square as the black king is. Since now black's king is on a light square g8, we play only h3 because that is a light square move. Let's see what would happen if we make mistake and play h4. Then king h8, h5, king g8, g6. And after hg6, hg6, king h8 is drawn. But if we play h3, which is winning the game, now we see that we have a better position for our pawns. And after king h8, g6, if now king goes to g8, for example, then g7, and you win the pawn on h7 and we easily promote. And after obvious h takes g6, h takes g6, king g8, black is losing opposition. That is why it was important to play precisely with the h-pawn. And after g7, king f7, king h7, white easily wins this game. That would be all about this video chess lesson. If you want to see some specific content in my video chess lessons, please place the comment below my video on YouTube, and don't forget to take a look at the suggested videos and also to like, share and subscribe to my channel.